Good morning. Happy Monday. It's me again. Welcome to the Busy Boulevard Weekly Success Call. I am your hostess, Noelle Curtis, and I hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Thank you, first and foremost, to everyone who was so awesome in sharing last week's very first episode. Super excited. And this is episode 2. We had a lot of shares and comments and questions that came in over the week, and I'm so grateful. I cannot express my thanks and gratitude. This week, we're going to be talking about how to transition into running your own company. I hope everyone can see my screen. So, this show, the Busy Boulevard Weekly Success Call, is all about getting into the weeds of what it takes to run a successful company. You can find us on Anchor by Spotify. You can check out the website, busyboulevard.com, and that's BISIBLVD.com. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. So I really do hope that you come out on social media, support, connect, let's chat. Let's get this going. As I mentioned in last week's episode, this website really this stream really is for you, the entrepreneurs, and just a way for us to connect. And so let's get into it. Last week, we talked about the starter plan, right? What does it take? The 4 key elements of a plan. I called it the starter plan. It's available as a digital download on the Busy Boulevard website. For those of you who needed the template that went with it, we're going to talk about it a little bit today. But if you need to refer back to it and you didn't take notes last week, it's there. And if you subscribe to us on Anchor by Spotify, our podcast, you'll get an automatic. We're live. You got to excuse the police officers behind us. You will get a free download of that starter plan template. So again, check us out, Anchor by Spotify, on our podcast. So this week, we are going to talk about how to transition into running your own company. I am an entrepreneur, 10 years plus doing this. My main focus of industry is the beauty industry, real estate, fashion, and food. So anyone who's ever talked to me knows those are my passions, right? I love the beauty industry. It has been my number one profit generating company. Real estate it's been a little iffy, but it suits the bill as well. But food is so critical. The food deserts. I'm part of grocery stores in different states and looking at different project and farming opportunities throughout the U.S. So extremely important. But one of the main questions that I get asked all the time, Noelle, how did you transition into running your own company? And so it's a question that comes up often for entrepreneurs who are looking to leave their current job or career and really transition into running their own company. It's not a hard thing to do. Theoretically, right? It can be a little daunting and a little unnerving, but today we're going to unpack it. And the 4 points that we're going to cover is your mindset, how to identify a problem, creating a personal financial plan, and also just getting in the game. Okay, 4 points. These calls are 30 minutes, but it's going to be deep and impactful. So I would encourage you, get out a pen, get out a piece of paper. If you don't want to take notes, again, this template, I have templates that are created for every show topic that we have, and they are available for digital download. But we are going to jump on into it. So step number 1 of how you're going to transition into your own company, you have to have the mindset for it, right? Entrepreneurship, by definition, is someone who takes risks, and a financial risk is inherently built into that. But you want to know that there is much deeper and greater risk besides just jumping out and starting your own company, right? It's financially risky, but it's also financially rewarding. But your mindset is so crucial into making this happen. Now, if you already have a company and you've ventured out and you're taking that step and you're in it full time, 100%, congratulations. I'm there. Welcome to the club. It is not easy, it's hard, and that there are times you're like, what did I do? What did I get myself into? But those days are outweighed by the reward that comes with it and the satisfaction of employing other people and helping other people and impacting other people. But again, your mindset is so crucial. So like, how do you view yourself? This is one of the things I ask every person I've ever coached in business. How do you view yourself? Can you really handle the mental pressure of running a company, the risk financially and even, emotionally and physically in starting your own company? And do you handle the process well? These are all things that are necessary to achieving the freedom and the reward that you want with running your own company. But this mindset is so crucial. If you see yourself as someone who can't achieve anything, you're setting yourself up for failure right from the jump. So you want to make sure you understand how well, one, you organize. This is a matter of organizing time, people, activities, different tasks that go into you actually establishing your company, the standard operating procedures that go into it. It's so crucial that you're organized. You see, I start this promptly at 11:30. I end it promptly at 12. Time management is so crucial in running a company. How well do you understand operational procedures? And how well are you able to communicate those procedures to your team members? Because that's so crucial, right? You can't execute a company on your own. It's just impossible to do. You have to know that, hey, for one, I'm not at this by myself, but I have people who are able to help and walk through this process with me, this journey. So it's important that you're able to communicate where you are in your process of your company, the expectation of what you're bringing someone onto the team to help execute. You have to already know how that's going to function, what you expect from them, and then give them the procedure so that they can go and execute it. Additionally, you want to understand the business that you are going into. And by business, I mean the occupation, the trade, the profession. I'm not talking about business in general. I mean, if I'm going to focus on a fashion project, I know the cycles of the fashion industry, right? I know when to order supplies, when to, start selecting fabric and material. I already understand the process of this. And so it's not hard for me to go in and say, okay, I need to order X amount of material by X amount of time so this collection can be created and on the shelves by a certain date. But if I had no understanding of the fashion industry, I'd be running around like a chicken with its head cut off, right? If you've ever, you guys got to excuse my farm analogies, but they are going to come quick and often. But if you've ever been on a farm and seen a chicken get its head cut off and it's still literally like running around, it's weird, but it has happened. But you want to understand the business that you're in. You want to understand the industry of what makes your occupation or your trade really function, because that is what's going to help you really create the best company that you can as you transition from this other job into focusing on your company full time. Step number 2 is that you really have identified a problem in that business or industry that you're going into. And by this, I mean, have you seen a significant problem in the industry of focus, right? So I talk to a lot of people, they want to go into logistics and transportation. Okay. What problem are you trying to solve within logistics? Amazon did an amazing job of just big global supply, right? But then what did they do? They diversified and got that last mile delivery system in place. And that's what helped that Amazon delivery service provider project that they have. But other companies have tried to emulate it. Wish has tried to do the same thing. Okay, how can we service the last mile delivery gap from the manufacturer down to the customer? What problem are you going to identify in this industry that you're pursuing? So people will pay for things that they cannot do for themselves, that they don't have time to do for themselves, or that they do not understand how to do for themselves. So you might understand the process, like in real estate and renovations. I understand how to lay tile in a bathroom, but I know I can't do it. That's where the tile workers come in, right? And that's what I pay them for. I understand the process of laying the tile with the grout and the consistency and the cuts, but I can't do that. I've done it, but I can't do it as professionally and as beautifully finished as these people who that is their trade, that is their passion. So you want to identify the problem that your company is going to solve and realize that there are so many problems in this world. Okay, when I started Pretty Dapper, my beauty salon, I knew that I had been traveling around the world internationally and domestically for work, and I was stressed from traveling. And when I would go and wind up in a foreign country, I could find a day spa. I could find a spa to get a massage. But if I wanted to get a facial because I was having a breakout, I couldn't find a place that was really catered to women of color in the areas that I was in. And so that was really unsettling and unnerving because I had dealt with so many skin issues in high school and in college. And that was like one of the births of the day spa. I wanted to make sure that women of color, men of color had a place to come, relax, rejuvenate, have skincare taken care of by people who understood their skin, one, and that resembled them too, right? However, that's not just where I stopped because skin is universal. That's also one of the reasons why I got into the skin profession. Everybody has skin. I don't care what color you are. I mean, everyone has skin, right? Unless there's literally some type of medical malfunction with their system, everyone has skin. And so I knew that a location that catered to a certain problem was an answer, and it was wonderfully received. And with that, right, I discovered more problems within the beauty industry, which was the birth of the Busy Boulevard platform. Okay, you will start to discover these problems on top of problems that lead to financial reward. If you're able to solve someone's problem, they're going to pay you for it. It's like non-negotiable. You have the solution to what they're looking for, the problem that they have, and they're going to pay you for it. And if you're executing it with excellence and with great customer service and with actual great value, that financial reward is going to be so unimaginable for you. So as you are looking to transition out of your current job, working for somebody else, look to really solidify and identify the problem that you are looking to solve. So once I got into the beauty industry, I was able to see other issues that came about with the business side of the beauty industry, which a lot of people don't talk about. Everybody wants to see the end result, but they don't take the time to understand the process to get there. Right. However, that financial reward it's inherent, it's built in. Once you start solving this problem for people, and it's not just a problem that you identify personally with, which usually is the start of it, but just because you may have broken something doesn't mean that everybody has the same broken experience. Like, let's say it's the spin mop, right? The lady was on a boat, she broke a mop. I mean, she broke a bottle of wine. They had a mop, but she's like, oh geez, she cut her hand. And that was the birth of the spin mop, right? But that's a take on a problem that existed that had already been answered, right? The mop was not new, but she took a revolutionary approach to the mop and found another problem with the mop. Why can't the mop move a little, without me having to do all of this? So one problem will unpack another problem, and you really will start to see, okay, wait a minute. There are other solutions to this. There are more paths to correcting this problem that other people might have. And how does it universally impact other people? So you want to make sure that the problem you're looking at, while it might start as a personal problem that you found a solution to, you want to see that it impacts a lot of people, because company is all about volume. It's all about numbers at the end of the day, right? You want to make sure that the problem that you're solving has a realistic financial reward attached to it. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, this is the biggest one that people struggle with. And this is also at the heart of the Busy Boulevard platform, right? Again, the Busy Boulevard platform originally is launching for beauty service providers, but we are already in development of other iterations for other industry. But the number one, oh my gosh, this should have been number 1, but I didn't want to hit you guys with finances from the straight jump. But you have to create a personal financial plan. Now, This is a struggle for a lot of people because a lot of people have never really had money management training. And I know that sounds like insane. Like, I know how to balance a checkbook, but do you really do it? You want to make sure that you understand, one, money is the answer to everything. I would be lying to you if I told you I started my own company because I wanted to work for free. That's not true, right? Money answers every single problem and issue that we have in life. And so you want to make sure that as you are transitioning from your current financial situation, what is the end goal you hope to get out of running this company, right? And this is an example of conversations that I had so frequently with entrepreneurs coming into the industry. Hey, Noelle, look, I got this idea and I'm about to start this company. Great. But I haven't been earning enough money on my job, so that's why I'm starting this company. It's like, well, okay, that's even better. So what are you going to pay yourself? Oh, well, I was thinking about paying myself, like 15,000 to start. And I'm like, okay, well, where you're currently working with this current salary, is this current salary covering all your financial needs? Or is it, leaving you at a deficit at the end of the month? And they're like, oh, well, it doesn't cover all my needs. That's why I'm starting this company. And so, okay, this is the logical side of my brain kicking in, and I'm communicating to the person. Well, if the current job you have is not meeting all of your financial needs, and you are leaving said company to start your own company and pay yourself significantly less, how is that a solution to the problem? That is not a solution. That's creating a worse problem. So you want to make sure that as you are about to transition out of your current financial situation, your current job, that you understand what it is you need your company to really generate in terms of revenue to pay you the salary that you need to make your life function. Now, I said need, not want, right? So you need to know how many bills you have coming in. What is your financial position for the year? Every company operates off of a financial budget, and your household should run the same way. That's your personal financial plan. So you need to know where your money is going. How many bills do you really have coming in? How many expenses do you really have coming in? Where are you really wasting money within your own personal financial spending? You need to understand that. And then place yourself within your company's budget at a salary that meets those needs and exceeds those needs, because now you can create a salary. Your company inherently creates a revenue goal, just a bottom line goal, right? Because when you first started, it's just you and this company, unless you have the fortune of having someone that's partnering with you and taking on that responsibility and that financial risk. You want to make sure that you have put yourself in a position where your company is generating the salary that you need to make your life really function. And you want to know in an entirety what your financial position looks like. My husband and I, we've been married 10 years now. We made 10 years this year. But we had to literally sit and figure out, okay, what does it take for our household to function every single year? And I know that sounds like a stretch, but my logic was we're running multi-million-dollar budgets for other companies and for other people, but we weren't really operating like that in our household. And so we had to sit down, and we're at the point in our lives where in the doubles. We have double kids, we have double properties, we have double cars. So it's like, okay, we need to figure out, what does our life really take to function? We have double salaries coming in, right? Is this enough to cover all of our annual expenses and still have surplus and things left over for us to do additional things? In your personal financial plan, you want to make sure that you're accounting for everything. I'm talking groceries, gas, insurance, when you eat out. One thing I could tell you, people have seen how much they eat up their check. And it's interesting to see. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I ate out that much. And it's like, yeah, you eat out, but you still have a grocery budget. So you have a grocery budget that's fighting with this eating out budget, and you eat up all of your money, literally. So you want to make sure that you have this personal financial plan that takes everything into account every single month. And then you're able to see, okay, this is what I need to function over X amount of time. And this is what I need to start, one, saving and putting aside, because when you leave this current job that you have, what savings do you have as a cushion until your company really starts generating the equivalent of what you need on a monthly basis to survive? And oftentimes people just glaze right over this personal financial plan. And at the heart of any company that you're starting or any activity that you're doing, the financial risk is so important to understand so that you are not caught with a dying project. You want a company that is growing continually, okay? So your personal financial plan is so crucial. Now, again, the Busy Boulevard platform, if you're a subscriber, you have this personal financial plan as the very first step of you starting an account with us. We don't allow you to do anything about your company until you identify where you are personally. And it's so crucial to do that. So if you're not a subscriber, that's okay. We still have the financial budget worksheet that you can download on our website and you can use yourself, because like I said, right now we're focused on the beauty industry, but I know these are inherent issues that any company owner runs into. They never have a clear understanding of where they are financially and where they want to go. So it's always hard for them to really transition. And this usually is the point where they give up on their dream. Why? They don't have the money. And it's not necessarily that they don't have the money. It's because they haven't really truly identified where they can get the money from their current resources and execute this vision or the plan that they have for starting their company. So the personal financial plan is so, so crucial. And I recommend, I know they mention and when I say they, I mean like the universal conversation of how much money should I really have saved to leave and transition into a company? Well, the rule of thumb is 6 months. Well, in the business industry, in the business world, the banks look for you to have at least 8 months of reserve. And that's why the pandemic was such devastating impact on so many companies, because most companies do not sit and have 8 months of cash reserve to cover to cover 8 months of expenses. It's not a hard thing to do, but it's not built into your plan. So in your financial plan, you really should have a savings account in there that's built in to help you through the lean times of what's going on with your company and with your transition. Because if you're leaving this job, you're no longer taking a pay cut, right? I hope I took a lot of people with this, oh, I'm going to pay myself less than what I'm making now. I hope I took that and set it in a jar so you can forget that plan of action. You are going to now create the salary that you need for your life to function. And in this plan, you're going to understand, hey, I might need $5,000 a month for my household to function. I might need $10,000 a month for my household to function. Well, now you need to start saving that so that you can transition when you reach, let's say it's the 10,000 a month. When you reach 60,000 in savings, right, you're able to now carefully and freely transition out of this other job, because you have this cushion of cash to help float the time as your company starts to develop. So the personal financial plan is the heart of you transitioning into another company, into your own company full time. It's so crucial. You have to understand it. And we're not talking about the business plan, financial plan for your company. We're talking about you personally in your life outside of the company. Because once you start this company and really focus in on this company full time, the company will have its own personal financial plan. But I can tell you, if you have not established your own personal financial plan, the company financial plan is pretty much going to be a little unstable. It correlates. If you don't understand where your personal finances are, you're going to have hindrances understanding where they are in your company. And it could cause great friction. And you don't want that. The last thing I will say as what you need to take in mind as you're transitioning into your own company is step 4. Just get in the game. Stop procrastinating. Now, I have so many mentors, and several of them always say the same thing. When it came to me getting into real estate, it was like, well, you're never going to understand the process of it until you get out and do it. You can take all these classes, you can take all these workshops, you can continue learning, but until you actually get out and do it, you're procrastinating and you're getting stuck. And now you're getting frustrated because you have this dream that is begging to be birthed and you won't let it, right? You have a gift that has saved so many people written all over it, right? You have the ability to solve a problem that so many people have, but you have to get out of your own way. So here's some little things for you to start saying. I can do this. I will do this. I won't stop trying. I did make a decision to pursue this. I started this journey and I finished counting myself out. You do not understand how many people tell themselves that their company is not going to be successful before they even try to make the first sale. And that is like shooting yourself in your own foot. Like, it's self-sabotaging, right? So you need to start taking these negative thoughts that you're having, the fear, the procrastination, the excessive learning. Stop just learning and start applying. Okay, so get in the game. You can't just keep sitting on the sidelines with this idea. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be upset. You're going to sit and see the next entrepreneur get out and do something. And then you're going to be mad. And it's like, well, why? The only one stopping you from doing this, you guys, is you. So when I say get in the game, as so many of my mentors told me, just get in the game. You can do this. And it takes persistence in doing it. Don't feel like, oh man, I got out here and now what, right? You had that starter plan that you worked on before you made this transition. You have your business plan that you're working on. And again, a business plan is so deep, so in depth. I've said it before, you don't need a business plan to start a company, but you do need a business plan to execute, sustain, and grow a company, okay? So your 4 steps, just get in the game. So a recap of how to transition into running your own company. Get your mind together. Tell yourself you can do this. Really understand the risk that you're about to take on. Be able to communicate that to your spouse, your partner, whatever, to yourself, and be honest with yourself about it. Do you really have the mental strength to run a company? Because a lot of people really don't. They say they do, but then when people start depending on them and calling on them and asking them for this and expecting a paycheck on a certain day, that just creates stress. It will shoot your blood pressure up so high. So if you don't understand, like, hey, this is just a part of what goes into it, I'm ready for it, you will crumble. And that's not what we want. We don't want you to crumble. We want you to really prop yourself up, understand, hey, I can do this. I have this idea. I have this dream. It didn't come from nowhere. So now let me pursue it. Make sure you really identify the problem that you are pursuing. As you're transitioning into running your own company, make sure that your company really truly executes and solves the problem. If it's just a company for the sake of being a company, so you could say you're an entrepreneur and own a company, that's pointless. You want to make sure that your company is solving a problem. Thirdly, make sure you have a crystal clear personal financial plan. You need to understand the financial risk that you're putting your family and your life in as you are transitioning into running your own company. It's going to be a transitional period. And again, this one is a crucial one. A lot of people get stuck here. A lot of people get fearful here. But again, we have a personal financial plan. If you're stuck on, well, what really should I be taking into consideration in my personal financial planning, we have a download for you to get. And then lastly, just get into the game. No one is stopping you but you. So stop making excuses. You can do this. Now it's your turn, okay? Stop procrastinating. Failure is only in your mind. So make sure you have your starter plan, right? We have that download. Go get the digital download if you can't figure it out. Your transitional analysis is these 4 steps that we just went over. What is your mindset? What has been the problem you've identified? What's your personal financial plan? And when are you going to step into the game? That's your transition analysis. Go and do it. You can start today. Don't wait. Don't keep putting it off. Stop procrastinating. And then lastly, connect with others, right? In our social media, we are going to be having chats about this. What was the one place you saw your money go to the most in your personal budget? I want to know, because I know in our house, we have mortgages, insurance, technology. Those are the top 3 in our house of where our money goes to, but that's just us. I love to hear what other people's top 3 are. So I want to say thank you for listening. You know, this is 30 minutes. We're in and we're out. It's 12 o'clock right now. Make sure you join us. Get social with us. We are on web at busyboulevard.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Email me if you have some topic ideas that you want to hear. I have a list of ideas that I'm already going to be putting out, but if there's something particular that you want to hear, I'd love to hear your interest and even probably have you join that call. So also the platform, we have 200 free seats that we are giving away on that Busy Boulevard platform. So spread the word to the beauty service providers that you know, have them get in early access. Once those 200 seats are gone, they are gone. And it's technically not 200 now because we had some from the last week that joined. So we are down out of the 200 range, but still free until those 200 seats are gone. They're here. So until next Monday, get busy pursuing your dreams. Stay busy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Join us next week on the Busy Boulevard Weekly Success Call.